When the Beis HaMikdash was destroyed, we all lost a part of our souls. We usually think of exile as a building being destroyed, us being thrown off our land. But there was a thing that was happening to us as a people and as individuals, a fragmentation, an inner wound, a broken attachment that was taking place the minute the temple was destroyed and we were thrown off our land. From that day on, for the last 2,000 years, there's a part of all of our souls, there's a part of all of ourselves that have been deeply lost. There's a part of ourselves that have been wounded, that has been fragmented, that's been having broken attachments ever since that day. There's only one thing that we all deeply want in life, and that's to know, HaShem, do you love me? Do you love us? Are you proud of Am Yisrael? Of course, when HaShem doesn't have a home, we don't have a home either. All day long, I'm hearing stories of broken marriages, relationships strained, parents throwing their kids away from their Shabbos table, and kids no longer wanting to sit at the Shabbos table with their parents, families, estrangements, inner wounds, traumas, addictions, and of course the list goes on. And the truth is, all that went out the window, all that actually began when we got thrown out of our land, because we all lost a part of our soul. Rav Kook explains in Orot, one of the famous things that he says in Orot Eretz Yisrael, which is something I think about a lot. Eretz Yisrael einenu davar chitzoni. Our land, it's not just an external place, kinyan chitzoni le'uma, a place for us to be as a nation. We have a home. We could be here. Rak b'toram tsari limtara shel hitagdus haklali v'chazak kiyum hachamri o afilu ruchani. It's not just a place for us to get together to strengthen ourselves as a people. Rav Kook says even a step further. Eretz Yisrael is not a place for us to be even more spiritual. It's not just a place for us to keep the Torah better, as many would have you believe it. Of course, you can keep the Torah better here. But that's not really what Eretz Yisrael is. Eretz Yisrael hi chativa atzmutit, keshura bekesher achayim shel ha'uma. Eretz Yisrael is bound up in the souls of our nation and in our individuals. Chavuka beskula pnimiot im mitziuta. It's absorbed into our inner essence, and our inner essence absorbed into the land. Our souls are one with this land. It's not just a place to have an army and to be protected. It's not just a place to keep the Torah better. Eretz Yisrael is a place where we can reclaim what was lost from our souls. There's a part of all of our souls that are here in Eretz Yisrael. And the more we come back to the land, the more we recognize this, the more of our soul we begin to claim. We begin the reclamation of the soul when we come back to the land. But not just coming back here, but even to want to come back here, to want to be here. As we know, the Tanaim would roll in their dust. Even Rav Nosson says in Lakutei Halachos, in Hilchos Karkaos, that every Jew has a chelek in the land of Eretz Yisrael. This is why in Sefer Yehoshua, it goes out of its way at length to talk about the boundaries towards the end, starting in chapter 11. Because all of us have a part of our souls that are here. And that's why Rav Nosson says fences, you can't encroach on someone else's fence, specifically here in Eretz Yisrael, because we all need to have our own boundaries. We all have a chelek. We all have a portion in the land of Eretz Yisrael. So yes, of course, Eretz Yisrael is good to vacation. Of course, matova manayim, to breathe the air, to learn Torah here. How great it is to have an army, that we can protect ourselves. I often think the fact that we went to Iran to take out the Khomeini, I believe, as far as I understand, that that's the first time in Jewish history ever that we traveled overseas to publicly kill and assassinate a leader of another country. I don't think that's happened in the Torah. I don't think that's happened throughout the entire Navi. Yeshua conquered what was here, or at least attempted to. I don't think we've ever flew overseas that far. And yes, we have all that, and that's wonderful. That's amazing. We want all that. But the deeper thing here is the reclamation of the soul, is to realize that when we were thrown off this land, a part of ourselves were lost. We have the ability to reclaim ourselves. In fact, we know the Mishnah at the end of Sota goes through all different things in the times of Mashiach, and also talks about the destruction of the Beis HaMikdash. And it says, fruit lost their taste. So of course, if the physical senses were dulled, what did that do for our inner senses? What parts of ourselves, if fruit were lost, then of course there are parts of ourselves that became wounded, traumatized, parts we put in exile, parts of ourselves we don't have the courage yet to face. The relationship with our land, it's not just a physical relationship. If you take a look at Eicha, the first pasuk in Eicha, I'm going to read it in English. Oh, how she sits in solitude. The city that teemed with people has become like a widow, right? She that was great amongst the nations, the princes among the provinces, has become a tributary. She weeps bitterly, right? Yirmiyahu, he loved Eretz Yisrael, and he loved the Jewish people, which is why he put his life on the line for us. He put his blood, sweat, and tears with attempted assassinations, with the people of his hometown trying to kill him. It's brought down in the Medrash, the day the Beis HaMikdash was destroyed. He was there, he was sitting in prison. And the Medrash, in fact, brings that he was childhood friends with Nebuchadnezzar, and they would talk about what's going to be when they were older. And Yirmiyahu said to Nebuchadnezzar, when you destroy the Beis HaMikdash, just please look for me in prison. Please let me out of jail. And Kachava, the Medrash, says that when Nebuchadnezzar destroyed the Beis HaMikdash, he freed Yirmiyahu from prison. And Yirmiyahu says over here that our land is like a widow. Our land is like a woman who lost her husband. If you learn Shir HaShirim, the Geulah, we know the famous love song of Shir HaShirim about a husband and wife. Yes, there are many different ways to learn what this is talking about. But if you learn Shir HaShirim, the Geulah, the Vilna Gaon consistently explains it's not just about a husband and wife, it's not just about HaShem and Am Yisrael, but it's about Eretz Yisrael and Am Yisrael, a relationship. We have a relationship with this land. And the entire Shir HaShirim, just like Yirmiyahu says over here, is an almana, it's a widow. The land has been waiting to call us back through Shir HaShirim. The land has been longing for her husband to come back, looking through the cracks, waiting and longing every day for us to return. We all know the story of the lost princess, of Rebbe Nachman and his lost princess, right? Which Rav Nosson says is not only about Am Yisrael going into Galus, searching for their true identity as a people, but it's about each and every person searching for the reclamation of their soul, searching for their lost princess, searching for the Shekhinah that is inside of them. Every day we must yearn to be here in Eretz Yisrael. Every day we must feel connected. It is not just about Tisha B'Av. It is not just one day a year taking time to remember the Beis HaMikdash. And the truth is, I once saw in a sefer, the Ema Barim Smecha by Rav Tachtal, he writes when he was on run from the Nazis and the Holocaust, it's massive. Everyone should learn the sefer. You could buy it in English and read it. It's pretty amazing reading. And he writes that the Rambam says that HaShem is going to bring us to Eretz Yisrael by way of his shluchim. He writes this about the Holocaust. So he says, what are Hashem's shluchim? Hashem's shluchim is anti-Semitism. Now, he writes this then, I'm not going to go into all the political things and everything that's happening. I don't believe in scare tactics or anything of that nature. But we need to remind ourselves of Eretz Yisrael. We need to stay connected to the land all throughout the year. We need to not look for the news to remind us of Eretz Yisrael. We need to not look to the wars to remind us of Eretz Yisrael. But we need to look to the Torah. We need to look to the Naviim. Every day, people should be learning Navi. Start with Yehoshua, learn about the journey, what happens after Moshe, and the wars Yehoshua went through, and how we need an army, and how it happens when we don't fully rid our enemies off the land. Then move on to Sefer Shoftim. Learn what happens when we don't have a centralized authority, and how much we need a centralized authority in the land. And then continue to learn about Shmuel HaNavi, how we need a melech. And throughout Sefer Malachim, what happens when the Malachim, the kings, they don't keep the Torah to their fullest. And then learn about Sefer Shaya, all the amazing things that we have awaiting for us in the future. Many of these nevuahs, as we know, are coming true right now. Learn about Yirmiyahu, what happens when we don't have the land. Learn about the love for the land. When I learn Yirmiyahu, I don't see devastation, I just see love. I see his love for Am Yisrael, his love for the people, that he was willing to put himself on the line. Learn about the great Yechezkel HaNavi. Yechezkel, he saw the third Beis HaMikdash. Learn the end of it. Learn the wars of Gog and Magog, which we're in the middle of. Right? It says chapter 37 is the dry bones. Chapter 38 begins the war of Gog and Magog. It says HaShem is going to put a hook in Gog's mouth, and he's going to attack the Jews, meaning to say, over there it also positively identifies Gog as Persia, which is Iran. If you think about it, who would start with the Jewish people? You'd have to be insane to start with our people. You'd have to be insane to start with Am Yisrael. But Hashem puts a hook in Gog's mouth to lure them out. They think they're doing the attacking, but it's only for their downfall. Because Hashem is baiting the enemy. As we see, we killed Nasrallah, we killed the Kukamani. Everything's flipping on its head right now, right? It's like the Zusha song. In the blink of an eye, everything can change. Everything is changing right now. And we need to stay connected to Eretz Yisrael, Ezra, Nehemiah, Daniel, learning about the return of the Jews. And this way we can continue to reclaim our souls. And this is true for us, Baruch Hashem. We're able to come to Eretz Yisrael a little early and live here. For us, we need to stay true to the Nevi'im. We need to learn. We need to feel connected to the land. But this is equally as important for those still living abroad who are not here yet. Plan a vacation. Come here for a week. For those who could come for a summer. For those who could buy a place. And for those who can just drink Israeli wine Friday night, take one step closer. Take one step closer. Never stop longing for the land. Never stop longing for the parts of our souls that we have missed, the parts of our souls that we've put in exile, that we've divorced. We have a lot to look forward to. We have a lot to look forward to. So this Tisha B'Av, let us heal from the old wounds of the past. Let us come home to ourselves, to our people, to our land, and to HaShem. Let it all be zocheh to see each other with love, as Rav Kook famously says in the Shmona Kvatzim. He says this again in Orat HaKodesh. He says that sinas chinam comes from the world of bina, the world of differentiation. I have my opinion, you have your opinion. I think this, I'm different than you, you're different than me. And therefore we wind up hating each other. But we have to go higher from the world of Bina to the world of Chachma. We have to see the oneness behind creation. We have to see how at the end of the day, we're one people, we're all our collective humanity. We all just want to come together and not be divided as a people, not be divided through politics. As Rav Kook says, if you look past the sinas chinam, if you look deeper, you get to the avas chinam, you get to the free love, you get to seeing the common humanity in our common people. As we connect to the brotherhood of our nation, we connect. It says, the word le'umi, it says, there are shtei le'umim bebitcha, right? There are two nations. There's a sense of brotherhood that we all have to have, this avas chinam. When we reclaim ourselves, to end with these words of Rav Kook over here that he writes in the Shmona Kvatzim. He says, Nimsa she'omek hasina harehu omek ha'ahava. When someone says, I hate you, what are they really saying? I love you. Let us love each other as people. Let us reclaim our souls. Let us all long to see the third temple, to greet Yirmiyahu HaNavi in the flesh. I can't wait to see him. I can't wait to see Shaya. I can't wait to see Amos. I can't wait to see Micha. I can't wait to see Yirmiyahu. And I can't wait to see you here with the Shekhinah in full effect. Everyone have a great rest of your day, whether you're hearing this on Tisha B'Av, after Tisha B'Av, whenever it is. I can't wait to see you and dance together in the streets. Have a great rest of your day, whether you're hearing this on Tisha B'Av, after Tisha B'Av, whenever it is. I can't wait to see you and dance together in the streets.